The morning sun streamed through the bright Manhattan studio where Live with Kelly and Mark broadcasts daily. Kelly Ripa, ever the picture of polished poise, was perched in her seat, a stack of blue cue cards in her hand, ready to transition to the next quirky story of the day. Beside her sat her husband and co-host, Mark Consuelos, leaning back casually in his chair with that signature grin that toggled between charming and mischievous. The chemistry between them was undeniable, but anyone who has followed their show long enough knows that sometimes the playful banter can take sharp turns, and on this particular morning, it absolutely did. The segment began innocently enough. The duo had been discussing recent trends in fashion, specifically how certain brands were now expanding sizing and using more inclusive language when promoting their clothes. Kelly, her petite frame wrapped in a fitted navy dress, made a pointed comment about how refreshing it was to see designers cater to women of all shapes and sizes, without making it feel like a headline. Mark, nodding along, chimed in with what he clearly thought was a compliment. I mean, who doesn't love seeing more curvy women represented in campaigns? It's about time. The word lingered in the air. Kelly's head snapped up. Her eyes narrowed ever so slightly, but the audience could already sense the shift in tone. With her signature quick wit and razor-sharp delivery, she put down her cue cards and addressed her husband directly. "Excuse me, curvy," she repeated, stressing the word as though it was a foreign object she was being asked to taste. Mark blinked, caught off guard. "What?" "That's a compliment. Curvy is beautiful." Kelly raised one perfectly arched brow and leaned forward, her voice cutting but laced with humor. "First of all, let's be very clear. She doesn't want you shaming her size. And yes, I'm talking about me and every woman who's ever had to endure a man trying to label her body on national television." The live audience erupted in nervous laughter and applause. Mark, sensing that he had walked into dangerous territory, tried to defend himself. "I wasn't shaming. I was celebrating. You know I love." But Kelly wasn't about to let him off the hook so easily. She leaned back in her chair, crossed her legs, and with a smirk that could disarm an army, said, "Here's the thing, Mark. Words matter. Women don't want to be categorized like fruit in the produce aisle. Pear, apple, banana, curvy." She made a dramatic hand flourish. "No, thank you. I'm not a shape. I'm a person." The audience clapped again, this time louder, emboldened by her fiery stance. Mark chuckled nervously, clearly realizing this exchange had now become the moment of the show. Okay. Point taken. But for the record, curvy doesn't mean anything bad. It means don't. Kelly cut in, wagging her finger in mock warning. "Don't you dare mansplain curvy to me. I have 3 kids. I've had the same body since before you were on All My Children, and I promise you, nobody needs your definitions of beauty when women already know what they are." The studio crowd roared with laughter, and even the producers in the background could be seen covering their mouths to suppress their grins. This was classic live, a spontaneous clash of personalities that turned an otherwise ordinary segment into viral TV gold. Kelly, now in full performance mode, stood up from her chair and addressed the audience directly. "Ladies, how many of you have had someone call you curvy like it's a compliment, but it just feels like a reminder that you don't fit into some impossible standard?" Hands shot up across the studio. Kelly pointed and nodded, as if she were leading a rally. "Exactly. We don't need descriptors attached to our bodies like warning labels. We just are." Mark threw up his hands in surrender, laughing but visibly humbled. Okay. You win. I'm never saying the word again." Kelly placed a hand over her heart dramatically, pretending to swoon. Music to my ears. You've learned something today. But the moment didn't end there. Kelly, with that spark of mischief that's made her one of daytime TV's most beloved hosts, couldn't resist twisting the knife just a little further. "Besides," she said, sitting back down and flicking her hair over her shoulder, "you should know by now that when you describe me on television, the only acceptable words are radiant, dazzling, and eternally youthful. Maybe sprinkle in a timeless for good measure." The audience howled, and Mark shook his head, laughing. Radiant, dazzling, eternally youthful, and timeless. Got it. He mimed writing it down on his hand. Never curvy. Correct, Kelly replied crisply, before returning to her cue cards as though the entire skirmish had never happened. Now, in other news, backstage after the taping, sources revealed that Kelly was still buzzing from the exchange. She's passionate about this, one insider said. Kelly knows her platform matters, and when she pushes back against body shaming, even unintentional comments, it resonates with viewers. Indeed, by the afternoon, clips of the heated banter had gone viral across social media. Fans flooded Twitter and Instagram with praise for Kelly's bold response. One viewer tweeted, "Kelly Ripa is all of us shutting down unsolicited body labels. Queen behavior crown." Another wrote, "Mark meant well, but Kelly was right. Women don't want men categorizing their bodies on live TV." Even celebrities chimed in, with several applauding Kelly for highlighting the subtle ways language can reinforce outdated beauty standards. For Mark, the incident served as a reminder that while his charm may work in scripted soap operas or Netflix dramas on live, where his wife reigns supreme, he has to tread carefully. As one fan quipped online, Mark Consuelos is brave, but not brave enough to call Kelly Ripa curvy twice. The couple, of course, is no stranger to these fiery exchanges. Their on-air dynamic thrives on the tension between Kelly's razor-sharp commentary and Mark's good-natured attempts to keep up. Viewers tune in not just for celebrity interviews or lifestyle tips, but to witness the sparks fly in real time. And though this latest exchange may have started with a single word, curvy, it quickly evolved into something bigger, a cultural commentary on how women's bodies are talked about, even in jest. Kelly's response, equal parts humorous and poignant, turned the moment into a rallying cry for respect, autonomy, and the power of words. By the end of the day, when Kelly was spotted leaving the studio hand-in-hand with Mark, both were smiling, proving that while their banter may burn hot on screen, their bond remains unshakable. Mark even joked to paparazzi, "Lesson learned. Next time I'll stick to radiant, dazzling, and timeless." Kelly, never missing a beat, added with a wink, "Good boy." And just like that, daytime TV had delivered another unforgettable moment, one that started with a slip of the tongue but ended with a sharp reminder from Kelly Ripa herself. Women don't need labels, and they certainly don't want to be shamed, even accidentally, for their size. Because on Live with Kelly and Mark, the only curves that matter are the ones in the banter, and Kelly Ripa always makes sure she has the last word.